Oh my God. I just want to do more stuff on this platform. I guess I'm gonna do a lot more talking. Uh, um, I'm a creative. I love being creative. I love doing things in video. But I don't really express my opinions, and I've been kind of inspired by other content creators to do that. So I got to give them a lot of props for those who come before me and do that. I just know like the risk that there is, and there's kind of a risk of not risking it, um, especially like on where you stand. But I can't continue on. Like I think I keep trying to like live in this like worldview of I don't know. I don't. I by not participating in a sense in a possibility to offend, um, I do less. And by doing less, I'm not doing enough, obviously. So I got to do something, and time is also of a factor. And because when it comes to like my daily vlogs, I have to go to locations, film the reason, develop the reason for filming what I'm filming, and take it back to the editing process and get everything organized and edit down. It's a lot. And I want to get to a point where I'm like posting more frequently. Um, I've been really busy. I've been doing comedy based stuff around the Fort Walton Destin area. We've even done shows in New Orleans. We were looking to take it more on the road and stuff like that. But we're starting to pivot, or I'm starting to pivot a little bit to where I focus more on like doing my own sets and kind of like doing a solo thing. Because I that's the part about doing stand up comedy that I like as a kind of a capitalistic mindset. It's your sole proprietorship, and there's not much overhead, so you get to mess around doing the things that you do. Um, and when you're a part of a team, you have to consider it's a very democratic way of handling business where you have to uh, kind of please everybody to move in emotion. Like I think as a team, everything is funny was doing very good at making moves, doing it fast. There are things I would definitely have done differently, but it is what it is. That was the experiment of everything is funny. Was we did what we did and we thought about it later, and we just for me especially, I won't speak on the other guys that participated, but I was like, all right, well, if we're gonna move in motion, we can move quick. We can try to make the best educated guess on how we think this should go, and let it fly and just see what happens. I do want to focus more on two things: this, and then the creation of my art, and get back on stage and travel a little bit of the country and do stand up in random towns from here to Timbuktu. And then, but this, doing spoken word essentially. I the reason why I debated doing it because I'm going to talk about controversial topics, things that would make people feel uneasy. But everybody has an opinion on it. I don't care. Like people say they don't, they do. From what I'm starting to see recently, like a lot of people do have conversations. They know it's the controversial, that they do have opinions. Excuse me, that they know it's controversial, and then they just like kind of just keep to themselves. And I want to address it. It's actually one of my biggest obsessions is analyzing and sharing my perspective. So I do a lot of that. It's a day to day thing. I always put people through, whether they know it or not. And a lot of times they don't. I put people through my own little tests to see what they would, how they respond to it, and I just want to share what my outcome is. Yeah, the takeaway. In front of me, in my own worldview, there are so many people with different perspectives that insist that their perspective is the truth, that it's the right way of doing it, and etc. And especially like in belief systems or politics, like they take these stances to be the leader of the movement, and then when I put it through the system of auditing, standard checks and balances, a lot of times it doesn't add up. And so I'm driven to want to speak my piece, and I can't, and I don't, and I probably should. And then I look at variables like information, like it could change, and so that's another reason why I didn't like speak up sooner. Like we once knew Pluto was a planet, and then it was redefined to be a moon once technology improved, and yeah, they just figured out it was what it was, and so we had to live in that new existence. Even though I had been ingrained in school, common knowledge that there was 9 planets. Those were test questions. That was generalized public knowledge, and that's what it is. It's like new things come that will change the way we see things. And as I started taking politics and religion and all these generalized and hot topics more seriously, my worldview did open up, and I'm so far from where I started, who I thought I was, and I'm rediscovering myself at the age of 42. I knew as a kid that I had titles that I did not choose. I'm half Filipino because of my mom. My dad is an American, born in Minnesota, military guy. And then I have a mixed black and Filipino brother. And then here's me. And then we were raised in a military setting and with people from all over the world that I'm just used to being around. I was never once told not to hang out with this person or talk to that person because of this or whatever. I was very thankful for that my parents were more liberal than they thought. Like my dad, what's weird to me is like now, because he's a big Fox News guy and conservative, like kind of really MAGA person. And so we've had little small conversations. I won't divulge, out of respect for my father, I won't divulge too much of that information. But like he has mentioned that, he understands why I'm the way I am, which makes me think about a lot of things. But he's kind of wished, I wasn't raised in that sense, because I am who I am now. But I tried to be more like him. In fact, that was the purpose. So because we're we're conservative, right? And Christian. That was another 2 titles to add on to that. But because of my love and affliction for my family and my country, I was like, all right, I'm going to look into this. And so I started watching debate videos and listening to what the opposition had to say and what their accusations were. And I was being as honest as I can. If their complaints about the religion or about me or what I represent was true, then I had to give them that. I was like, God dang. And it started to happen a lot. I was like, oh my God, they're right. So this, and this. Like there's been information that's been in front of me my whole life that I just didn't consider because I was busy. I knew my whole life there were different religions in different countries that existed. Okay. I still got to go to school in the morning. I got practice. There is a girl I'm trying to talk to. My sister's got this thing. I got to go there. My friends have got this thing at this weekend. I got to prepare for that. I gotta. And before you know it, you're an adult. And then, I got to go to work. I got to make money. I got a car payment now. I got to do this for my dad. And Then you're supposed to have a family at a certain time. And you get to an age where you're like, I'm so consumed with what's going on in life. Then what happens? Then all of a sudden, and I know it's happened. You just sitting there on the toilet, and then you just ping. You get this questionable thing about your religion and your stances that just causes it all to unravel, and now you feel like you're wrong. Well, I've been telling my whole community and everybody around me that God is this, and this is the way, or this is the way that we are, and what we think, and to go back on that now jeopardizes your stance in your community. Everybody around you, your neighborhood, your group of friends, and all this, like, they know you to be like this one particular guy. Now you got a decision to make. Do I go and tell everybody I don't believe in this stuff anymore because of what I've experienced or this new revelation? Or do my kids, are my kids going to devalue me as a person of contact when they want to come and ask for whatever? It's a lot to process, and you can either make a decision. Either you continue on and living in the matrix, or now that you know what it's like behind the curtain, do you keep exploring that? Or you do nothing. You just keep moving forward. Like, there's so many different ways, and what interests me is that point where people have to make a decision. So they put their values ahead of them. And when people say certain things and they stand by it, and I know it to be wrong, I got to figure out why you would say that. So, sociology, psychology, these have been very important subjects to me. I got into marketing when I was younger, and to be good at that job, you have to understand those two things. And in coincidence, about that same time period, I was like 21. I'm 42 now. As a poor kid trying to figure out how to become a multi-millionaire and take on the capitalistic dream, I read Donald Trump's books and went on to think big and all these things. And now I'm so far removed from all the things that I once was and who I looked up to this opposite end. I think that's pretty interesting. If I was on the outside looking in, I think the generalized question that most people should ask is, how does one come to that? How does one person say they were once this and turn into this? And then this is what starts this path. So moving forward, I'm going to talk about these uncomfortable things, or just random things, just things at random. I just want to talk. And I hope that you share your insights with me. Leave them down in the comments. And I think this will be a lot of fun. If not, it's more like a therapy session for me. So whatever. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.